So we have been debating whether we should do this video or not.
I think it's been for quite some time. It is a topic that is talking about more like mental health stuff. So if you're just not in the mood to listen or watch anything like that, then just go to another one of our videos.
What we want to talk about is a little life update, because some things have happened over the past year or so, I would say, that have... What have they done?
Help
me, so the fans miss you. How is it going? So it's always a bit more difficult, I guess, to be vulnerable, especially in front of all these people that you don't know. But ultimately we thought it's always good to be transparent, and this might help people. So
whatever situation you're going through, mental health wise especially, you shouldn't feel ashamed about it. There are a lot of people that are going through the same thing as you. So basically we've figured out that we both have ADHD. And I know what a lot of you out there are thinking right now, like, oh, everyone has ADHD. Everyone's like, you know, now saying I have ADHD. And that's true. A lot of people are getting diagnosed with it or kind of self-diagnosing themselves with ADHD. In this video, we want to talk a little bit about what that looked like for us, what it means for us, and also clear up some of the misconceptions and myths around ADHD. It's interesting because I think that when a lot of people think of ADHD, they think of someone who's like really hyper, like fidgeting a lot, like can't like focus, their brain is like going like crazy. My psychiatrist told me that it looks very different in everyone, of course, but different in the sense of male and female. I struggled a lot with a lot of different things. One was just like focusing, like my attention would easily go from like one thing to another like quite quickly. Another thing was like waking up. I could just like sleep like literally all day if I wanted to. I would be like super hyper focused on something and be like feeling so good about it, and then just like lose interest in like a couple days. So for me, I went to a psychiatrist because I was thinking, all right, like I know there's something up, like I can't really figure out what it is. And after doing, of course, a lot of research and looking into it, I was like, all right, like let me actually talk to a professional and see what is going on here. So we talked, I did all these assessments, I got like letters from different people in my family and friends and blah, 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 had to put this like package together for him. And then in the end, he diagnosed me with ADD. So now they actually just call it inattentive ADHD. So pretty much I have the like distracted part of it, but I don't have like the hyperactive part of it, if that makes sense. It affects me in all different kinds of ways. But one big way is like a lack of motivation. My brain takes me like so much effort to like really genuinely like get into something and like feel good about it. I do have like the running, like racing kind of thoughts, which then actually makes me feel tired because I'm like, my brain feels like it's like working so much. I'm like thinking about different things and like maybe worrying about different things.
One that I didn't know about and that a lot of people don't know about that is associated with ADHD is rejection sensitivity, which is basically when you take even small things very personally and see it as like, you know, a rejection, and then that hurts you and you kind of like keep thinking about it.
And it's like I'm already like quite a sensitive person, I would say. I'm a Pisces, so let's be real. I do definitely like take things to heart. It's not even like saying things in like a negative way, but maybe feeling like rejected in like, oh, like why didn't this person who I thought was my friend like invite me to this dinner? And then I think it's like, oh, something I did, or like something they don't like me. Yeah, just things like this where I'm like, why am I feeling like this? And just kind of like having these emotions that aren't very like regulated, but just kind of like a little jittery. It's funny because it looks like it's totally different in Lilian.
I've been thinking for some time now, okay, there's like something up, like something I always just feel like a little bit different. And then I even noticed that like in some YouTube comments, some of you said like, oh, Lilian, like, are you like on the spectrum? There's different spectrums, yes, in my solo videos. Anyways, I thought maybe I could have like Asperger's or something. So I went to the same psychiatrist that Alexis went to. Ultimately, he proceeded with the same step of like, okay, let's do this ADHD assessment. He just didn't talk about Asperger's. Is that not your specialty, autism? I started kind of gathering the requirements, but then I ended up not going through with the diagnosis. Why? A, because the diagnosis appointment was like 4 months out, and because I could only do it through private insurance, which means that ultimately every single appointment costs like 100 and something euros. I would like to officially get the diagnosis at some point, but I just didn't see what would be in it for me, because even if I were to then get the medication through it, I would have to pay it out of my own pocket. And Alexis was very lucky because he ended up letting her go through public insurance. It's also a bigger blocker for Alexis than I. Like, we struggle with it differently. I think I'm more on the hyperactive part. And I have thought about this before, but always kind of one of the first things is like, oh, you know, talks a lot, like super extroverted, blah, blah, blah. And that's not me. But it's like a lot in my brain, but also my leg. I've had this throughout all my life, pretty much, that I am always stimming. So I'll show you what it looks like for me. Then I have this. I'm always like destroying things with my hands. Paper, I've always done
candles.
This. Like when we're at a dinner, like don't have anything near me, I'm gonna be ripping it up.
But in like a quiet way, like you're not like
yeah.
She's just like gently like tearing something apart in her hands.
Definitely. So it's nothing that's like super disruptive or concerning. I'm always doing a million or thinking of a million things in my head. So for me, it's not like that I'm having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, like sometimes, but I think it's more like I'm thinking about, oh, all these things I'm doing and then, or I could do. So it's more like Alexis is sleeping and I'm like, Alexis, I have a new idea. And she's like, oh my God, what is it gonna be this time? And I think that is also because another part of it is being impulsive. And I didn't think for a long time that I was an impulsive person because I actually overthink things a lot. But ultimately, let's be real, I am impulsive. Because I can just quit my job from one day to the next because I'm just like, I'm over this. I can move to another country from one day to the next because I'm like, I'm over this. And also the thing with talking, I was always like, I'm not the kind of person to talk a lot. But as you can see right now, when I get into something, I don't stop talking. I like info dump.
Yeah, and I think it also kind of trickles into our home life. For me, it's like I really need a clean, like more organized space for my brain to feel organized. Like if my room is messy, then my brain feels messy. But then with Lilian, it's like her brain is like somewhere else thinking about 12 million different things. So she just takes a shirt off and just like throws it somewhere, or like eat something and then leave the plate somewhere quickly.
Is this how it is for everyone else? We don't know, because we only know what it feels like to be ourselves, right? I do these things that are just like boring and whatever to me, like taking out the groceries, folding clothes and stuff like that. I don't have the patience for it and I'm thinking about other things. So I just like do it and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not consciously thinking about it.
It's just like on autopilot.
I know that it's exactly, I know it's an issue because even when we're taking out like the dishes from the dishwasher, I never remember where anything is. I could remember, but then Alexis just catches me like opening every single cupboard to find like, where do the plates go again? Actually, with this one, it's easier because I can see it right away.
But it's still like, she still messes it up. I'm just like, okay, like plates are on this shelf, bowls are on this shelf. And they'll be like a bowl on top of a plate and then a cup is slid in there somewhere as well. And I'm just like, just follow the pattern of where the cups are and where the plates and bowls are.
Oh my God. But yeah, so I think that is actually the biggest struggle because it does also lead me to being messy, which is something that Alexis also gets very bothered by. I didn't really struggle in school, but I would be like the kind of person, like I always did homework at like the last second. If I had like my backpack was a fucking mess. Like if there was a note for my parents, it would be like at the bottom of my bag,
stained,
crumpled, yeah, like apple juice all over it. I would be like, I'm scared to look in my bag. I was like that kind of student.
It smells like a little sour.
Like, it's difficult to say how much of this is normal because it's not like, you know, I'm sure probably a lot of you can relate to this. I hope.
Everyone's like, no, yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's really interesting because it's technically the same diagnosis, but it's so different in us. How it manifests itself in our relationship is, let's say, our YouTube videos. You know, we usually make around like 10 minutes of videos, but you should see the raw footage because it's like an hour and a half, and it's also us constantly interrupting each other. Yeah. And then being like, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Now I forgot. I may feel attraction for the same sex, and I don't need to panic about that. And
also your label can change as well.
And like, I really don't like when you're interrupting me because it's like, it's hard for me to keep with my thingy.
Okay.
Well, now I don't know what I was saying anymore. So it's just like a whole forgetting and interrupting festival. Yeah. This is also a thing, going on tangents and then forgetting where we're going with something. I was just gonna say, what are some, because I think we both did a lot of research and there's a lot of like kind of misconceptions, some that we already touched on, but maybe things that people don't know about that much. Things that I have that I don't think you have that much and that are actually also on the like, autism kind of spectrum thing are, for example, what's it called? I think misophonia, like sensitivity to sounds. And I'm not talking about like screeching on the chalkboard because I think everyone hates that, but like there's like wrapper sounds if it's like a silent train and
not
someone
like wrapper.
if someone's opening the wrapper of like a Kinder Country or something like that, oh my god, it drives me nuts. Like I cannot focus on anything else. I really hate it. Same with my parents who might be watching, hi. If they eat grapes, oh my god.
What was like grapes?
I don't know, because there's like the different, and it's just like, and I can't hold myself, like I have to tell people like, please stop doing that, or someone's like ticking the, just like things that really get me worked up, or like how clothing feels. Sometimes Alexis like, put on this denim jacket, but I'm like, but it feels so heavy on me, I don't want that. It needs to be feeling like comfortable, otherwise I don't like, or if it like, I don't like how it feels on my skin, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think there's a lot to say about this. This is, I guess, the first part of this, just like saying this is what's happening, this is what we've been figuring out.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people are kind of realizing that they also have ADHD. Yeah, it's becoming more and more common. And yeah, I think I just want to get rid of that like negative stigma that's around it, because if you are figuring this out about yourself and then you're properly diagnosed and then you're able to get medication if that's, you know, what you're looking for, then it can help you a lot.
I think we should do probably, if people are interested, we can do a separate video about medication, because I think there's like a huge topic and there's a lot to say about this whole ADHD thing. And I think also the other side of it is that a lot of people don't see it as a legitimate thing. A lot of people are like, you know, we're in the age of technology, of like 10-second videos and attention spans. Like we all have like attention deficit or hyperactivity to some point, because that's what it means, right? But I think the point is like, does it get to the point where it's like all the time, where it's disrupting you? I think that's what it is. And again, all these other things that you might not be aware of. For some people it has like a huge effect on their life. For other people it's just like, oh, I just like can't really watch a whole movie or like pay attention in class or something. So it's just something to be mindful of. As most things in life, it's a spectrum.
Well, that was a lot. If you're interested in hearing more about this and just kind of our experiences and how we're dealing with it, I guess, then let us know and we can make another video going a little more in depth about it.
I think that's it. We need to go back to work. We would also love to hear from your experiences.
See you in the next one. Cheers!
Cheers!